For our middle school professional development, we are going to be focusing on our iPads and Apple Teacher Training and Universal Design for Learning, which is an instructional model for building lessons, building our learning instruction. Universal Design for Learning, as defined by CAST, is a framework to improve and optimize teaching and learning for all people based on scientific insights into how humans learn. The neuroscience behind this says the brain has 3 networks, and each one has an important role. The first one is a recognition network, which determines what we learn. It decodes it, it perceives it, it takes our prior knowledge and connects it to what we're trying to teach them. So the goal of UDL with representation is that we use multiple means, multiple ways of presenting information. We might use multimedia, which means audio, video, graphics. Connect to all of their senses. Present content in various ways. Don't just stick to one method. The second one says how students learn, how they organize information, what strategies do they use. So for us to present to this type of the brain, give them a choice. Allow them to demonstrate their learning in multiple ways. It might be through videos, audios, role-playing, posters, presentations. So instead of maybe a book report being written out, you would allow them to make a video recording of it and to turn it in that way. The third part of our brain is the caring, the empathy. It prioritizes what's important based on why. Are we motivated? And for this part, you have to engage the learner. You have to give them a choice. And in this, you have to remove all barriers for learning. So in going by these 3 principles of UDL, you start to focus on what's really important. Self-determination theory, which is a motivational theory, meets 3 psychological needs, which really goes in hand with UDL. We just mentioned autonomy. Students need to own their learning. They also need to be competent, feel successful, and this comes with a choice, and they also need to be working in collaboration or feel connected to their peers. Technology provides the perfect environment to do that. Now, sometimes as educators, we think we just need to focus on those who are marginalized and have special needs to meet those needs, but in reality, if it benefits the primary ones who struggle, have an area where they need assistance, then it's really going to benefit secondary or the entire, all students. So let's design learning to meet everyone's needs. So we are going to focus on our Apple Teacher Training. It's really for your benefit too, because you can also take and use this teacher training as you go into new positions. The certification is recognized. The one I spent the most amount of time on of these 6 areas was accessibility. It is something I really strongly believe that we should help students to know, all students to know. Pages, Keynote, Numbers, iMovie, GarageBand. Now you might think, why do I need to know all of those? Well, it allows you to present information in multiple ways. It also allows students, since you know about it, it allows you to provide them opportunities and choice. They could use iMovie, they could use GarageBand. You can also allow them to screen share, to show their work, to actively involve them in the teaching process. 1, to show you what they're learning, 2, to show their classmates. Now, I love this section. Sometimes I love just using a screen reader or text-to-speech, but the accessibility features dig into these. They provide great depth for any student. What we're going to be doing is you'll be creating 2 lessons. One lesson, and then you'll have 2 observations. You will observe your peers. So you'll teach a lesson and then go observe 2 in the morning, and then you will take the entire morning. You'll do a presentation and then go to 2 other observations, and then you'll collaborate, give feedback, and revise. And from that, you'll see oh, I've used this in from my Apple teacher training. And you can tweak your lessons to improve them. Why do we do this? Because UDL is built on neuroscience, learning sciences, and cognitive psychology. You know, emerging technologies are coming out all the time, and there's not time enough for the research to be done before we want to use them. So if you use UDL principles, you will be improving student learning. You'll be meeting their best needs. Through this Apple teacher training, once you learn how to use some of these, you can apply the UDL principles.